There is really so much power in your purpose, and I know a lot of times we can feel like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And it's important for you to connect back to what is that power and why you were here. What is your purpose? And when you really understand like why you were here, what you're supposed to do, it is a very powerful thing because you can really change the trajectory of your life as well as others really walking in your purpose. And I wanted to provide some food for thought today to help you stay motivated in understanding what your power is and why your purpose, like how they're all connected. So there is power in your purpose. Let's get into it. Before you can really even start to think about your power and your purpose, you really need to understand what is purpose. And by definition, purpose is the reason that something is done or created. And for me, it's important for me to connect back to why I was created in the first place. And the only way that I can find those answers is to connect back to the Creator. Now, for everyone that may be different, you may serve a different deity. At the end of the day, it's finding that connection from a spiritual standpoint to help you identify what your purpose is. And we can talk about it as an example of this camera that we're speaking into. If I was coming from a different planet and had no idea what this camera was, I would need to figure out, by reading an instruction manual of exactly what this camera's purpose is. And if I didn't read the manual, I would be lost, confused, and I might be even using the camera in a way that it shouldn't be used. And so connecting back to your spiritual self will help you figure out what your purpose is because it's the owner's manual, it's the Creator, it's somebody who actually spent the time, energy, and effort to make you an amazing being. And by connecting back to that, it helps to identify in some shape or fashion what your purpose is. And I think Rick Warren does an amazing job of that for people who serve the Christian faith. That's a great book, The Purpose-Driven Life. But for whatever your spiritual background is, making sure you connect back to the Creator is important for you to help identify what your purpose is. And sometimes in life, our purposes change. And if you have been following my page, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, this is now the time to subscribe or like. I want you to check out a previous video that I did called The Art of Pivot, because in that video, it talks about changing your purpose and walking down a different path if you feel like you're led to do so. And sometimes when we're trying to figure out exactly what our purpose is in life and we're coming to a crossroads, it's harder for us to say, is it okay to walk now in this direction? And for me, I feel like life is too short to have one occupation, one destination. At the end of the day, walking in your purpose, that may change. And when you're in college, your purpose may be to be the best student. And then when you become a parent or a wife or a husband, your purpose in life may change, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that change. However, identifying that you are changing purposes is important. And if you don't identify that your purpose is different than it was 5, 10, 15 years ago, you can start off with a lot of frustration or confusion. So I do want you to offer yourself grace. And if you are confused or a little bit struggling with changing the purpose, then check out The Art of the Pivot, because I talk a little bit about how I've had to change in multiple areas in life. And that's just life. We're just dynamic people. We are going to change. Nothing about us is static. And when we're talking about purpose, another thing that we have to consider, the power in purpose, the actual power in our purpose is understanding why. Why are you doing things? Why are you here? Why is such a powerful question when you are thinking about your purpose? Why are you motivated to do what you do? Why do you love the people that you love? Understanding your why will really help you be successful when you are discussing or figuring out your purpose. Because when you have a clear understanding of why you are doing something, it really makes a really big difference on how you actually show up in this world. For me, helping people is my why. I feel fulfilled in life when I help people. It is what gets me up in the morning. It's what lights up my stomach. It's what lights up my life. And I feel like my purpose here in this world is to help people, whether it's making them smile like physically because I am a dentist, or if it's actually making them smile because I am serving them in some shape or fashion. And when I understood that that was my why, it makes going to work so much easier. It makes me have a clear-cut destination in what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm supposed to be doing that. And so take a moment to think about your why. And when you understand what your why is, that is what is going to give you that power to make sure that you are fulfilling your purpose. It's when you get tired and you don't really want to walk in that space that redirects you and makes sure that you understand, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I had this person looking up to me, making sure that I am walking in my truth and I'm walking in my purpose, and I don't want to disappoint them. So I'm going to make sure that I spend the time really understanding my why so that I am really making a difference here in this world. And mattering always matters, right? No matter what you think. I love how we're using this word matter, but no matter what you think, the idea that you matter matters. The idea that you care about what you do matters. And that is a really big why. Understanding why you do what you do is the power in your purpose. And until you have a clear understanding of what and why you're doing these things, you can feel very, very lost. So just think about the word power, think about the word why. And if we were using a GPS system, that why is what is telling us, navigating us to get to our destination, which is what fulfilling our purpose is. The purpose is our destination. The why is the gas, right? It's the fuel. It's telling us, okay, the reason why we're turning left here is because we've got to accomplish this goal when we get here, right? So I want you to think about that. And remember, mattering always matters. So you want to do things because they matter, and you want to do that with the energy and effort and the gusto because it does matter how you do them, right? If you do something halfway, it makes a really big impact on how people see you, how people perceive you. And I don't know if that is in alignment with your purpose. For me, it's not. I want to care about what I'm doing. I want people to see the energy and effort that I put into it, and that matters to me. So make sure you remember that power is in why. So if you ever get lost on your purpose, just go back to your why. Why are you doing something? And remember, there are so many people that are watching and they want to see you do something with the best zeal, the best gusto you possibly can. So it does matter how you do it as well. And if you can't do it with a smile, then try not to do it at all. I was reading an article by Richard Leider, and he says this really, really good math equation that I feel like is a great way to live life. Passion plus value plus gifts equals your calling. And let's just let that marinate for a second because that is so powerful. If you are walking in your passion, if you are utilizing your gifts that have been given to you from your creator, if you are actually walking in your values, your calling, your purpose, that is like the best way to live life. And I believe if more people would subscribe to that thought process of actually using their gifts to help the world be a better place, actually being a part of something that, having good, loving core values to make the world a better place, and walking in their passion, loving what they're doing, my God, think about how amazing this world would be. Think about how great your relationships would be with others if you really were giving them your all and you were walking in your purpose. And so I love that. I want you to sit with that. And when you realize what your calling is and what your purpose is, then you've got to create time to actually generate or implement your purpose in life. And that's important. important. If you're confused on, well, Simone, I don't have enough time, or Doc, I don't see how I can actually walk in my purpose, I've included, of course, the Art of the Pivot for you to listen to, but then also go back and check our previous video about how to plan out your year. There are some amazing tips and tricks to show you how to carve out your time. And it's important that you carve out your time so you can really make sure you're walking in your purpose. If your purpose is to be a social media content creator, right, and you believe that in your heart, you're gifted at that, it aligns with your core values and you're passionate about it, but you haven't blocked off or created time for you to do that, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to walk in your purpose. And so you're going to have to create the time and space for you to be able to really, really walk in what you're supposed to be doing. So think about it from that standpoint, that there is power in your purpose, understanding your why, understanding what you're doing and how you're doing it, being passionate about it, having your core values about it will really make a big difference in the world. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, feel free to do so. We would look forward to seeing you back here, and leave a comment. I want to see, are you really walking in your passion and your purpose? Do you have power in your purpose? We'd love to hear.